It is called the gift of life. Organ and tissue donation. It saves lives, including in Maine.
CBS 13's Kim Block brings us the story of one of them, a little girl in Standish, who is living proof of how organ donation is making a difference.
Let the kids get up in Italy. Let the kids get up in Spain. Let them get up in Massachusetts, in Connecticut, in Maine.
Story time is not something this Standish family takes for granted. Not so long ago, they were very worried about their own happy ending. 20 weeks into her pregnancy, Kiara Gadboy found out her baby Cambry had a hole in her heart. They had hoped it would close on its own, but as the due date neared, it was clear there was going to be only one option.
It's surgery. There's surgery. That's also when we found out about her aortic valve, that it was too narrow at the end.
Cambry was born at 38 weeks and immediately taken under the care of specialists at the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital.
I saw her for maybe 5 minutes, maybe less than that, before they took her away up to the NICU. That was hard, really hard. I just remember, her binky falling out of her mouth. That was the only way we could kind of keep her quiet, wheeling her off, and just knowing that she was about to go through something that I didn't want her to go through, but she had to.
It didn't register at first that in order for Cambry to survive, she wouldn't need just surgery for that narrow aortic valve. She would need the donor heart valve itself, meaning another child would have to die in order for Cambry to live. It turns out Dr. Reed Quinn, a pediatric heart specialist, had one on hold right here in Maine.
I keep them in the freezer because you never know when an infant's going to be born that needs a homograft, and that's what this is called.
The surgery was hard on Cambry and her family.
When we got to go see her in the ICU, the worst sight, she was really puffy from all the extra fluid. And she just didn't look like herself, and the breathing tube was what got me the most.
But Cambry was a fighter and came home in just 11 days, and just look at her now, 1 year later. But the story doesn't end here. All along, Cambry's parents kept wondering if they would ever know the family who had helped to save their daughter's life.
Tuesday, December 17th, 2013. Hi, Kim. We are the family of donor Elijah Eli Cole McGinley in Arkansas.
And it turns out a family in Arkansas was wondering whose life their son had saved.
So what happened to bring those two families together? That's where the story gets even better. It is very rare for heart valve donor families to meet the recipient families, but it happened right here in Maine, and we were there. Join us tonight on Fox 23 News at 10 for part 2 of this very special story. Kim Block, CBS 13 News.
Today, on the first day of National Donate Life Month, a Standish family is grateful to have their daughter with them. They're also very grateful for a little boy whose special gift made it all possible. Cambry Gadboy Cates almost died just after she was born. She needed a heart valve transplant and got it. Her family knew saving her meant a horrible loss for another family. They wondered about the child that provided this gift. In a special report, Fox 23's Kim Block follows the two families brought together by tragedy and hope.
Adrian, this has been an amazing story in many ways. It starts with a baby born in Maine about a year ago, needing a heart valve transplant within the first few days of life. She received that heart valve thanks to the generosity and compassion of a family in Arkansas who had suffered a devastating loss. This is the story of how those two families found each other here in Maine.
Tuesday, December 17th, 2013. Hi, Kim. We are the family of donor Elijah Eli Cole McGinley in Arkansas. We were told
it was this email last December that started a chain of events that brought two families together. Jody and Jesse McKinley of Arkansas lost their son Eli, a twin born with severe spina bifida, almost 5 years ago.
Doctors told us to expect just a few minutes with him. Fortunately for us, he had plans of his own and went on to live 31 more hours after being removed from life support.
That time was a blessing in many ways. It allowed them to reunite Eli with his twin brother Walker for those hours before he died, and it gave them time to make the decision to donate Eli's heart valves so that another child could live.
I think selfishly, I just wanted to know that he fulfilled his journey. I wanted to know that he had a purpose on this earth. That was enough for me, because I knew somewhere out there, someone, a child, was going to be able to carry on.
They also have spent the last 4 years wondering if their decision had made a difference in another child's life. Donated tissues like valves are very hard to track, but just this past December, just shy of the 5-year cutoff for when the valves would no longer be viable, the McKinleys received word that one of Eli's valves had been successfully transplanted.
We received the news in December that they had, or this aortic valve had been used, and it was in Maine. I mean, we were just shocked. I mean, that's across the world for us.
It was some information, but not yet enough to try to get the answer to their prayers.
So the thought came to me. I thought, you know, I need to find a news anchor, because news anchors know everything about the states. And I Googled Maine news anchor, and you came up. And then you responded immediately that next morning. My heart jumped.
All right, I love you quicker than a minute. I love you.
Hearts jumped a few weeks later in Standish, Maine, where through pediatric heart surgeon Dr. Reed Quinn, I found the family of Cambry Gadboy Cates. Kiara and Nick's baby girl had received Eli's heart valve, and they too had been wanting to know the other family's story.
For them to be able to do what they did, it tells me that they're an amazing family.
Once both families knew about each other, nothing could stop the McKinleys from coming to Maine. Here in Portland, where the welcoming group gathered, it was a long wait as their flight was delayed.
We're anxious and we're excited, so the final few minutes to go and we'll be reunited.
And then this happened. There is nothing that can take away the pain of losing a child, but wrapping your arms around the child who carries a part of your son's heart sure helps a lot.
Just that last few hours that we were holding him, and I was just holding him close, and I kept whispering in his ear. I wanted to know that he lives on and that he helped whatever child that was.
At a reception for the families later that day, in another moving moment of closure, Jody took a pink stethoscope and listened for the whispering sound of that heart valve at work.
I do.
That's it. Okay.
Okay.
It's working away.
Thank you.
I think that Eli lives on through her, a strong little boy.
It's been a long journey for Team Eli, from Arkansas to Maine, from heartbreak to heartbeat.
How many people can honestly say that they've saved a life? Not many. So, and I guess to us, he's our ultimate hero.
And because of his brief life, these families are now friends for life.
Those two families spent a wonderful 4 days together here in Maine just a few weeks ago, getting to know each other and sharing their gratitude. It was a privilege to be a part of their story. The McKinleys were selected to be in the Rose Bowl parade this past January, honoring organ donors from around the country. Both families continue to spread awareness about how important organ and tissue donation can be. And for more on that, we have another story for you exclusively on the web. Kim Block, Fox 23 News at 10.
A miracle in so many ways. Cambry will need to have another heart surgery in Maine this June. The McKinleys are already making plans to come back to Maine to support their new family. And for more information on the importance of organ and tissue donation, you can find that out on our website. It's WGME.com.
Emotions overflow as a mother and father prepare to once again hand their baby over to heart specialists at the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital.
It wasn't easy the first time they had to do it when their daughter was just born. Now at 18 months, they're doing it again.
It is a story you'll only see on 13. We follow the journey of a little girl from Maine as she gets another chance at life.
CBS 13's Kim Block joins us live with more on the many people making a difference for a Standish family.
Adrian and Greg, our viewers may remember our story earlier this spring on the two families brought together by tragedy and hope. One lost a child, the other was given a chance at life by their generous donation. Well, now there is a new chapter to the story. One warning, we do take you inside the operating room with some graphic images for this one, as Cambry Gadboy Cates undergoes more heart surgery that is truly making a difference in her life.
The last time we saw these families, they were meeting each other for the first time. Once they discovered little Cambry in Maine was the recipient of the heart valve donated by the family of baby Eli from Arkansas, nothing could keep them apart.
I do.
That's it.
In a true testament to the bond that has formed since, the families are together again, this time going through Cambry's follow-up heart surgery together.
It just makes this journey complete for us.
The McGinleys from Arkansas flew back to Maine to support Cambry's family. The heart valve Cambry received at birth helped to save her life, but it was always a given she would have follow-up surgery to repair the hole in her heart. This day, they are doing that and also removing a temporary band on her pulmonary artery.
They're sad tears, but they're happy tears to know that, you know, this is hopefully the last time we have to go through it. I guess I've held it in, you know, the past few weeks, and it's the day, so it's a little bit harder.
It's not going to get much easier for the next 4 hours. As Cambry is prepped for surgery, Dr. Quinn shows me a diagram of the procedure.
And she has this big ventricular septal defect, the hole between the lower chambers of the heart.
And the team gets to work.
Do you have something for this arterial line?
The first time Cambry received open heart surgery, she was just days old. They have waited for 18 months to complete the next phase, giving her heart time to grow so the defect is more visible. It will take several steps. Dr. Quinn opens the heart and after several hours, completes step 1.
At this point in the surgery, Dr. Quinn has removed the band on the pulmonary artery, and Dr. Donnelly is preparing to insert the device to close the hole in Cambry's heart.
It didn't open.
Dr. John Donnelly is Cambry's cardiologist. It takes an extensive cardiac team to pull off these surgeries.
Here comes my device. Okay, you ready? Yeah. Here it comes. There it is.
The hope is that once the temporary band is removed from Cambry's artery, the artery itself won't be too scarred. That would keep her off the bypass machine. But not unexpectedly, that wasn't the case.
So what we did was go on bypass briefly to take that area where the band was restrictive and open it up with a piece of pericardium from a cow. Okay, how's your bypass?
Okay, so far. How you doing?
It adds a little time to the surgery, but the team is prepared for anything. And after almost 4 hours, they acknowledge the moment they are done.
It's going very well. Very well.
The families anxiously await news.
We're all waiting for you.
She's doing great. So we were able to get everything done that we want to get done. You bet.
Thank you.
Glad to do it. We're able to close the hole.
Cambry's family finally gets their first look at their daughter after surgery, and it's a heartbreaking one. Then, what was supposed to be one night in the intensive care unit turns into a week, and then 11 days. There are setbacks and milestones, like the first time Cambry opened her eyes.
What are you doing?
But look at Cambry now. This is just a few days ago at home in Standish.
You hug your baby. Oh, and kisses. Oh, okay. We put it right back. Good.
Every day, Cambry gets a little stronger, walking again and rocking out to her favorite country song. And you can bet there isn't going to be one day that this smile is taken for granted.
Thank you just isn't enough, you know. Seeing Dr. Quinn there late Wednesday into Thursday, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's by her. It just means a lot, and it just shows us how great of a doctor he is, and Her cardiologists are just great. Our goal in this whole process was to see a child be able to carry on and smile like babies should and grow up and be happy, and today is just the next chapter for them.
Now, Cambry will be followed by heart and pulmonology specialists, but at this point she is not expected to require any more surgery. And as for those two families, well, they're already planning to spend Thanksgiving together.
Oh, that's great.
As a parent, I mean, I just can't imagine what, it brings tears to my eyes, but it's so good to see her doing so well.
It really is. It's been an amazing journey. I would like to thank both families for allowing me such an up-close personal look at this, and of course the entire cardiac team at Maine Medical Center. It's really tough to watch, isn't it? But that's what the miracles are all about there.
It's a window we don't often get to see open. It was an amazing story, Kim.
Thanks, Greg.